Welcome to Module 1 of the Awareness Campaign presented by the Riverside County Library System Homeless Resource Committee. Over the next few months, we will lay the foundation to help you and your colleagues increase your understanding of and engage with people experiencing homelessness. This information is by no means exhaustive, but rather a tool to enlarge your perspective on the crisis of homelessness and those it impacts directly and indirectly. As public library employees, this includes you. This module will define homelessness, explore who the homeless are, and offer statistics of the causes of homelessness. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, any person living in a temporary location, such as a shelter or a place not fit for human habitation, including but not limited to an encampment, car, or abandoned building, etc., is considered homeless. We also know that this can include a motel or sleeping in the open air. While this definition is practical and comprehensive, at Riverside County Library System, our aim is to build our compassion and awareness of people. So, we all recognize that we may or may not have a patron who is experiencing homelessness. And they're just that, a patron or a person first. So, for the sake of language and compassion, we want to use the phrase, a person or people experiencing homelessness, as opposed to the homeless. After all, we all recognize that we can be identified by so much more than just where we sleep. So what pops in your mind when you hear the word homeless? Is it the popular "will work for food" sign, or perhaps anything helps, God bless? Is it the image of the vagrant or the person who's drunk and soiled living on the street? Perhaps it's the person beating the air or yelling or talking to him or herself. If these are the images that came to your mind, you're not alone. The image of the vagrant or person suffering from mental health issues or under the influence of drugs and alcohol and completely unkept are most prevalent in the media. This is also most likely what you see as you drive and move around from day to day. What's interesting, though, is that this demographic only makes up 27% of people experiencing homelessness. This begs the question, who are the other 73% of the homeless population, and what do they look like? What circumstances contributed to them becoming homeless? In order to answer these questions, let me first ask you some questions. Have you ever lost a job? Have you ever been divorced or separated? Have you ever had an argument with a family member who asked you to leave? Have you ever experienced or viewed domestic violence? Have you ever been evicted from your home? Have you ever suffered with physical health issues or had a medical condition or been hospitalized? Have you ever been incarcerated? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you could be the face of homelessness. People experiencing homelessness look and dress just like you. They come to experience homelessness for a myriad of circumstances, some within their control and oftentimes out of their control. People who are homeless are all races. They're aging adults, they're families with children, they're youth with stories. They may have been emancipated from the foster system like Ethan. They may have ran away from home to avoid a mother's violent boyfriend like DeMario. Or they can have a totally different story, as in the case of Tabitha.
My name is Tabitha. I'm 17 years old, and I've recently found out that I got pregnant by my boyfriend, who happens to be older, and my parents found out that he was doing drugs and kicked me out, and now I'm living with him in his friend's garage, doing independent studies, but I have no internet, so instead I spend my time at the library to do any assignments or to check Facebook or to just pass by the time.
During this module, we defined homeless as well as debunked stereotypes of whom the homeless are. We looked at statistics for the top contributing factors to homelessness. We hope that your perspective has been enlarged and you realize that everyone who experiences homelessness has a story and a name. 73% of the homeless that you serve day to day cannot be identified by looking at them. They are borrowing materials, using your patron computers, and enjoying your quiet study rooms. In the following module, we will examine the language we use and build a vocabulary to replace stigmatizing, prejudicial, or hurtful language. Until then, thank you for viewing, and thank you for keeping an open mind.